see you, Laura. Good to see you, Ames. Joe, good to see you. Chloe, hey, Joe, you're back. Back from overseas trip. Good to see you, Joe. Lucia there. So, welcome, guys. Monday night team call. As I said, Rachel's often on her way to Fiji, so it's so good to have you guys all on the call. Super excited to see you. Can't wait to do tonight's call. We've had a huge weekend. IsaUni. There's a couple of you who are on the call who actually went, which can't wait to hear from you and your takeaways from it. But tonight, I'm obviously going to be handing it over to some of our leaders as well that are going to be sharing, which is exciting. But before we do that, we'll go through some people who rank advanced. We had a couple of rank advancements this week. We had Zoe Lance and we also had Kelly Martin. So massive round of applause to you guys. Well done. Fantastic. And our top enrollers for the week, we had Zoe with 2, we had Sharon 2, Jono 2. Well done, buddy. Ames, where's Ames? Well done, Ames. 2 for you. Chloe, amazing work, Chloe. And we also had Sarah Whitehead with 2 as well. So awesome job, guys. Keep up the good work. You're absolutely crushing it. Really exciting. So tonight we're just going to hand it over to, as I said, we've got Nicole who's on the call tonight. Hopefully Tremaine is on the call. Maybe she's not. But Nicole, if you've got some notes from IsaUni, we would love to hear sort of seeing that Tremaine's not here, can you give us a bit of an overview of how the event went?
Yeah.
And then maybe some of your takeaways would be amazing to hear. Hey, Bronwyn, good to see you.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, I've done a few IsaUnis and this is actually coming up to my 4th year now and it's my 3rd one, and every time you go, you just get more and more takeaways. It doesn't matter how many times you hear it. Sometimes when you go to the event, you listen to it, but it doesn't actually sink in. And I found this time round, I don't know whether it's the place that I'm at the moment, but a lot of little nuggets, I suppose, sunk in more. It made more of a difference. But my takeaways for some of the speakers, Sandy Golder did a really good piece on your why. For me, as I said, I've nearly been doing this for 4 years now, and you know, you hear Greg say it all the time, you know, you need to find out what your why is. And I actually really thought that I knew my why, but I've since discovered that I don't. And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't hurt enough. You know, I say all the time that I know what I want for my family, you know, what I want to get out of Isagenix, but, you know, like it's, for me, I haven't felt that pain to make me push to get to where I need to go. So that was a big one for me. I was quite emotional through that piece, and yeah, it sort of makes me feel a bit weird right now saying it, but it's the truth. And that's probably my biggest takeaway from Sandy's piece. Susie McGrath, she did a good piece as well with like sharing the vision. And the biggest takeaway I got from that one was just share the vision. Don't hold back. Don't assume already on what people may or may not like, may not be interested in Isagenix. So just don't assume. Brendan and Dominic, they did a really good one. And one of the biggest things that Brendan wrote, and I'm going to read this out because it's it actually made sense. But the question was, when do we share the money? And his reply was, it's not an option. Don't ever cut Isagenix in half. It's part of Isagenix. So yeah, that was a big one for me. So we need to share it any chance we can get, rather like if it's the start or the end. And Gabby Dean, she, I've never seen her actually speak, but she's a little pocket rocket full of energy. And I actually related to a lot of things, which I was quite surprised about. And she also just said to, you know, just believe in yourself. Don't make messaging hard. Don't make it awkward. Just be you, real, raw, and just get out of your own way. So just connect with as many people as possible. And that's, yeah, there was heaps of other. Joe Mould was up there as well. And yeah, there's some fantastic speakers. So yeah.
Love it, Nicole. Thank you so much. Now, what's the major thing that you're going to take out of the event and apply into your business?
I'm going to sit down. Today wasn't a good day, but tomorrow I'm actually going to sit down and really get out of my own way and work out what my why is, because I think that is number one for this whole business for me going forward. I need to find out what's going to drive me to make me get to executive or wherever, my goals are for IsaGenics.
I love it. And do you have anything in mind?
As in where I want to...
Is there anything that's like ticking around in your mind? Because the reality is 20, 22 of us on this call, and, finding your why is obviously, it's crucial. It's what's obviously going to drive you when times get tough. But is there anything in mind that's sort of coming up for you that you feel like, yeah, this is I'm uncovering it?
Yeah. Well, see, for me, mine is our family circumstances changed in the last, say, 6 months. And my goal was always to get Paul home with us, to be home as a family. And, I thought money was the biggest thing. But since, in the last 6 months, not going to go into details, but, our financial situation has changed. So for me at the moment, that money point is not a pain point for me, because where we're at the moment. So it's just trying to work out, well, yes, I understand I need to earn a certain amount of money to bring Paul home. But yeah, it's knowing or working out, I suppose, from a family point of view of how much money do we actually need to get him home.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Is that, I know that we've talked about this a lot before, and, sorry to put you on the spot, but it's important for everyone else, and this is a very open call, and everyone's obviously going to learn. But, we've talked about this a lot, about you bringing Paul home. And, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, how much of a burning desire is that? Is there another avenue that you could potentially explore where you're like, you know what? Maybe there's a deeper burning desire that you have, that bringing him home is amazing, but it's almost like finding the reason why you're reaching out to people will help him come home. So if you can uncover the reason why you reach out to people to share IsaGenics, then that action will actually bring Paul home. Whereas if you focused on bringing Paul home, in a way you're focused on an outcome, which is great, but then you've got to dig in deep to actually find out what's lighting you up with IsaGenics. Because that's the end point of bringing him home. But in order to bring him home, you've got to find out what's the thing that's lighting you up the most. Because I know that when Rach was going through this process, she wanted to get me home from work. But the thing that was lighting her up was helping mums get home with their children. The thing that was lighting her up was helping mums lose 5 to 10 kilos. So when you can uncover the thing that lights you up, then Paul will come home. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than doing this for Paul to come home, sometimes there can be a disconnect between why are you reaching out to someone about their health. Because if you're looking at reaching out to someone, and this is for everyone, if you're reaching out to someone with IsaGenics in a transactional process, then it's never going to work. And what that means is if you're reaching out to them to enroll them for you to get Paul home, then that's what's called a transactional, you're reaching out to that person as a transaction, as opposed to reaching out to that person to really find out what's their pain point in their life, and how can you solve it.
Yeah.
And I think that when you find that point for you and everyone on the call, when you find that point out, then all these other things turn out. Like if you've got this goal of I want that house, I want that house, I want that house, I want that house. Every time you're reaching out to someone, sometimes it can feel uncomfortable reaching out to someone because you're trying to get this house. You're not really caring about their health. So focus on why you're doing Isagenics. Why are you reaching out to women? Why are you reaching out to mums? You know, you think about your health journey. It's been epic. Like, it's been an amazing health journey. Maybe you've got to find out, and there's going to be a bit of a piece that I'm going to do tonight, but maybe find out exactly what lights you up about Isagenics and then share that over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, in a blink of an eye, Paul will come home.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I appreciate you being open and, you know, sharing some gold nuggets from the event. So good to go to those events because they refuel you, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Does anyone else have a why that, you know, that they would love to share? Something that's really a burning desire, they really understand it. Let's face it, if you don't know it, it's okay. You know, you'll discover it along this way. But is there someone that really knows why they're doing it? Charmaine, go for it.
I don't know. I'm still trying to work out how to even make my microphone work.
That's awesome.
I listened in on a call last week. It was my first team call. This is my second. And so this is really only my second week really focused on my why. And it can be, I found it very overwhelming because your mind just goes racing on all these things. But I had to pull it back and I thought, okay, I heard a really, really good saying, and it was, your why will often make you cry. Now, I don't know about blokes, but us girls tend to be quite emotional about things. And I thought, okay, what is it that pulls on my heart? What is it that brings me to tears? And it was a real passion. Sorry, my husband's doing vacuuming. There was a real passion to see women feeling good about themselves, which equates to dignity, bringing a dignity back to women's lives, and the way they approach their families, and whether they're doing it on their own or whether they're married or not. And so that, for me, this week I've just been focusing on how do I connect on an authentic, heartfelt level with another person. And in my case, it's predominantly, I've got a real passion for women, women that are coming out of abuse, women that are, it makes me cry. So I've got a real heart for, I suppose, rescuing people. Yeah, I'm going to.
That's amazing. Let's give her a round of applause. Like, that's huge.
I've got salmon on the stove and a husband vacuuming, so, and I'm in the laundry now.
Hey, Charmaine.
Yeah.
Your husband's a keeper, just quietly. Your husband is a keeper.
Hey, Greg, you can tell him that yourself.
Tell him he's a keeper from me. So, Charmaine, that's exactly right. Like, the reality is, it's like, and Nicole, can you see the slight difference there with Charmaine?
Hey, Greg, can I butt in? You've met Charmaine. She's the beautiful lady who sits in the row in front of us at church with the curly hair and the kids from Torquay.
Awesome.
I'm in Torquay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks, Rach. So, Nicole, can you see how Charmaine's talking about why she's wanting to share Isagenics and she starts bawling her eyes out? It doesn't mean that you need to cry every time you do it, but when you come from that place, you'll be able to bring Paul home, Nicole. You really will. Because the outcomes go away and you just focus purely on the present and why you're reaching out to that person. So, Charmaine, if you can continue to do exactly what you're doing, you're going to transform thousands of people, thousands of women's lives. Yep. Charmaine's husband, you're amazing. So, you know, that's what it comes down to. Legend, love your work. So that's what it comes down to, guys. I'm trying to find what is it that's going to get you up in the morning to send that message when it feels uncomfortable. What is it? What is the thing? Why are you doing it? Maybe for your kids. It may be to get rid of some sort of most expensive bill at the start. But then it transforms into, well, now I'm seeing women's lives, or I'm seeing guys' lives completely transform in front of me. And it might be the fact that you want to get that message every morning of someone where you've just impacted their life. So you just keep messaging people over and over and over to keep getting those messages back. So does anyone else have a real strong reason why they're doing this? I know Bronwyn's got an incredible story. But if no one else wants to share, I'd love to hear Bronwyn's. But if Bronwyn doesn't want
to Greg?
Yeah, who's, yep.
Reed. Yeah. So for me, mine's changed because I was always like, yeah, I want to earn enough so that John doesn't have to work. I can help stay with the kids and I don't have to worry anymore because I've been in real hard situations and I didn't want to go there again. But it didn't work because it wasn't flowing for me, because it wasn't from my heart. And when all that shifted, I've started discovering how much people need what we have got. And, you know, just flicking through different groups in Facebook that I'm on and connecting with different people all the time and just really hearing how they speak about their lives and about what's going on in their life shifted something in my heart. And now I can reach out to people with what we've got because we have this gift that can actually support them in so many ways, so many areas of health and wellness that, you know, I want people to be able to shift like I have, my mind, my life, my body, and into my purpose. And that's my passion, getting people to get their purpose out in them and seeing that transformation, not just in weight loss or healthy aging. It's so huge in my heart to see people transform from being completely depressed and not knowing where they want to go in life and not knowing what they want to do, to actually be able to step up and, you know, rise up into who they are. It's amazing to watch, and it's amazing that we have this platform and this opportunity and this gift. It seems so simple, and it seems like, oh my gosh, where have I been? How has it not been this simple in my brain for so long that we've got what people really need and really want?
Yeah.
Seriously? Sorry.
Oh, we do. We have exactly the answer to people's health and wealth. You know, the reality is we can't be healthy unless we're looking after ourselves financially. And it's hard to be financially sound if you're not really looking after ourselves, you know, from a health point of view. So I love that, Rhiannon. Obviously, we've obviously been on a lot of calls together, and, you know, your why's changing and evolving, which is exactly what it does. Start somewhere and then evolves.
Yeah.
It might start with earning $500 to pay off your car bill because you crashed your car, and then it turns into impacting mums to be home with the children. You know, it's always changing. As you evolve, so does your wife. Does anyone else want to share? Thank you so much, Rhiannon. That was amazing.
I'll share, Greg. Hello. Is it frozen? Oh, you just froze. Can you hear me?
All right. I look better.
You can hear me?
We can hear you back. Go.
Oh, yeah, I feel like mine's changed a lot, but like I don't cry much, but a few weeks ago when Rachel consultant, I was like bawling my eyes out. So I feel like my why at the moment's really like, you know, showing people my age like this vision. And especially at the moment, you know, I'm hearing people say, you know, I wish I could travel more, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I just say to them, like, what if you could? And then, you know, I sort of talk a little bit about it. But yeah, I feel like it's just, yeah, helping people earn a little bit extra money, because when I saw Rachel say, like, you know, this is awesome. It's my first week and I've made $400, and like, she was just so excited, and yeah, that really made me happy. And I was on a late call with her in New York and all this stuff, crazy stuff. I wouldn't stay up to 12 o'clock. And yeah, I think you talking about it before, when you said your why makes you cry, and I thought about, yeah, a few weeks ago when I started getting emotional about that. I feel like that's where I'm at the moment.
I love that, Beck. And I can, like, you know, we've obviously had a few conversations back and forward, obviously Rachel's as well. And to hear your, you know, just the tears of joy when you got paid, you know, that incredible amount the other week. And then to hear what you said about your friend getting paid, you can tell that you're so driven to help other people. And I think that's why we're all here, right? Like, we're not all here to make money. We're all here to change people's lives. The money shows up, the more lives you can impact, right? And I could tell, Beck, like, you've really got a huge heart to help other people succeed. So, and to be honest, like, there probably hasn't been too many people that I've ever worked with in 4 years that have had more hatred messages sent back to you than anyone else that I've worked with. And I tell you, like, you've been incredible through all of this, because you do have that younger brigade. You know, you're only 21, right? So you got these young people who are like, you know, they find it easy to abuse online, which is shattering. But, you know, you've taken it, you've copped it from work, and you've copped it from so many different angles. And I know that you will continue to move forward, because helping your friend at $400, and that's what it's all about. You know, helping them lose 5 kilos or 2 kilos or 10 kilos or whatever. That's what it's all about. That's why we do it. That's why we take the challenges on board from, you know, from people's messages. Amy, did you have a message from someone this week where you're just like, wow?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent out some messages on Instagram, and I got a couple of messages back. One that was telling me to kill myself. And it's so funny because I can laugh at it, but like, if this was even just, you know, I'm only fairly new into this, obviously, but if this was even like, you know, at the start of my journey, I would have like cried, and I would have been like, oh my God, and doubting myself. But I just sat back and just, you know, had a little laugh. And then, you know, we were reflecting on it today, and we're like, sorry for swearing, but you've got to go through the dickheads to get to the good ones, you know, like, so out of those 20 messages I sent, I got, you know, a couple who did write back saying, tell me more. So I wouldn't have got those good ones if I didn't go through the dickheads.
Yeah. And as we're talking about as well, and this is for everyone on the call, that for you to be able to lead your team, you have to be able to go through all of the responses. So you're going to have every response under the sun, and you need to know how to deal with it and work through it, because you're going to have your team members go through it as well. So, Ames, love your work. Has anyone else found out that they know what their why is, and they're really charging towards it? Because once you understand why you're doing this, the how shows up pretty quickly. Hey, Bronny, are you trying to unmute? I can unmute you.
Sorry, Greg, we are late. We just joined up.
Hey, Gamma.
How are you?
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I've got Angela with me here.
How are you, Angela? So good. Hey, everyone, let's wave to Gamma. Let's give Gamma a massive wave. Gamma's in Jonathan Porter's team. You know, he's an absolute superstar. Thanks for being part of the call tonight, mate.
No worries.
How are you enjoying the system so far?
Oh, look, it's really good. As I've spoken to or sent a text to Rachel and John, look, I just want to know those tricks. I think it's one of the best products I've come across from my own experience. So yeah, I just want to utilize the product. And so yeah, Angie's just joined up. We were just trying to catch up with few friends, family friends up in Isa tonight. So I think after this, we'll try and catch up with them.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's few families here in Morumba that are really keen to join as well. So Angie has been doing some phone calls recently. So
Hey, you know what? Jono and I are free if you need us to jump on a call with you guys. So reach out. Happy to jump on a call with you. Okay.
thank you.
Awesome. All right. Just mute out, Gamma. I'd love you to mute out. That would be amazing. Just so there's no background noise. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you don't, it's all good. We can move on. Okay, Bronnie.
Hi Greg, hi guys. I'm just in the car, so sorry I'm down in the dungeon. I'm just back from Sarah's birthday. I suppose my why, Greg and I had a bit of a discussion in Nashville. I actually didn't have a why. I actually had a no, I'm not doing this. Then all of a sudden I realised IsaGenics had come along at a perfect time for me. I had 3 sons who didn't need me anymore, and I had all this kind of had this need to help people which wasn't being fulfilled, and I was quite unhappy. And at the same time I'd lost all this weight and I was starting to feel fantastic. And I think I work with a different demographics. I work with all these older women who for years have struggled with their weight, up, down, round, yo-yoing, hormonal, all that stuff. And all of a sudden I have this gold to share. And I'm now 6 weeks into with my cleansers. So I've got people who are up to losing between 4 and 6 kilos. And the why, like, it's just coming back at me tenfold at the moment. Like every day I'm getting hundreds of messages, or not hundreds, but lots of these fantastic messages from women saying, I've lost this, I've lost this. I'm actually starting to get out of the fog, and it's all the things that I found after 4 or 5 weeks that I'd kind of forgotten happened to me. And it's so nice to be able to actually help these women. And I know this sounds really strange, but you know, I don't even look at the money. It's like what you said, Greg. If you actually go, I'm sorry, Brian's taken the keys. I'm in the dark again now. If you actually look away from the money and back to why you're doing it, the money just flows, is what I'm finding. So I'm just trying to really support these girls. Some are more needy than others. Some kind of are teetering there, and I ring up and they go, oh yeah, I've just lost another 2 kilos. Like, really? Some are coming in and they're like really excited, like, there we go, now I've got some light. They're just super excited with how they're feeling. And to think that I've been able to facilitate that and share this gold with them. And now they're actually starting to say to me things like, I think I need to share this, because I said, that's why I shared it. And I talk about sharing. I never, ever, ever, ever sell IsaGenics to anybody. And everyone says, oh, do you sell that? I go, no, I don't sell anything. I share gold with people who want it. But if you don't want it, please don't have it. Don't take it. Okay? Just at this point. Okay, don't take it now. Come back and see me later if you'd like me to share it with you when you're ready. And that's what I'm finding is working really well, because women are then going away, watching on Facebook. It's amazing what people do, and coming back and go, I'm ready now. Well, I'm here for you. And off we go, and on their journey, and they're just loving it. So, yeah.
I love that, Bronnie. I love that so much. And you know what is so good about that, guys, is that Bronwyn is meeting people where they're at. She's not once is she trying to get someone started when they're not ready. So, you know, one big thing in this business is never, ever start anyone unless they're 100% ready. Yeah. Because the thing is, they're going to not follow the system. They potentially will send it back. They'll complain about the system. So the more that you can meet people when they're 100% ready, then the more they're going to follow the system and the better results they're going to get, the more chance they're going to share it with their friends and family, because they've just had amazing results. So that's one thing that Bronnie is an absolute superstar at, is that she takes it away from people. She's like, look, you're not ready. Come back and see me when you are. So she's never, ever pushing it towards anyone. she's in fact actually taking it away from people, which is a much stronger position to be in, because they're like, oh, she's not even trying to sell this to me. Okay, she genuinely cares about me. So I love that, Bronnie, and I can tell that you're coming from such a heart-centered place.
Can I just say one thing too? Because we're saying that, it's all right. I've only just started, so I haven't even finished my network, and I'm older, so I've got a bigger network. But the other thing too is I was just in Nike the other day on the weekend, and there was a girl there helping me buy a new top because I've lost weight, so and turned around. Now again with her, I'm just building a relationship with this girl. It's actually almost like a social experiment, this girl. I apologise to her. But she turned out she was a personal trainer. So I'm just giving her a little bit, and I'm saying, look, if it's not for you, that's fine. You know, I'm telling her there's opportunities, there's money to be made, and because it's a business and she's personal trainer. But if it's not for you, that's fine. The more I pull away, the more she's coming at me. So, and the other thing is running out of people. I can see I haven't got to that point yet, but I don't know how I'll be. But it's funny. I think don't look at the obvious is what I'm starting to learn. Like you think that one needs it, that one needs it. Actually, the one in the middle needs it too. It's almost everyone in this world needs it. So somebody just said it before, don't make assumptions, because even I put out subtle things on my Facebook, and the people who come back at me, I would never have put them on my first list. So yeah, that's just a couple of other things I've learned.
I love that, Bronnie. And, you know, the one thing is for you never to ever run out of people to talk to. If you start from today, Bronnie, and add 2 people, like 2 people every day, it's called an active list. So everyone write this down. You don't have a list, you have an active list.
Yeah.
So if you add 2 people per day, you'll add 700 people a year to your list. Over 10 years, you'll have 7,000 people on your list. You'll never, ever run out of people to talk to if you're continually adding 2 people a day. That's all it is. You know, the best networkers in the world talk about adding 2 new people per day. So what you're doing, Bronnie, you're out and about, you're chatting, you're adding people to your Facebook, you're adding people to your list, you know, you're networking a lot, keep adding people. If you add 2 people a day, you don't even have to talk about isogenics. You're just adding people to your list. You know, add them to your list. Over a year, it's going to grow to over 700 people on your list. You'll never run out of people. Love it.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for your help.
Thanks, Bronnie. Thanks for that. All right, superstars, I want you to write this down. So this is something that I want you to take out of tonight is, you know, I haven't been on a Monday night call for a while, so I'm really excited with you guys. I'm just like pumped. But I want you to write down this, and we're going to start from the end and work back. And I really feel like if you want to be really congruent online and offline with your brand and with how you're turning up in the world, then I want you to start at the end. I want you to start at the end point of your life and work your way back to today. So the first thing I want you to write down is, what values did you live by? Not do. What did you live by? So if you can write 5 values that you lived by, so we're taking you right to the end of your life. Hopefully we'll all make 100. If we don't, it's all good. My great nan lived to 111. Can you believe that? Cricket stumps. Imagine that, 111 clicks. Anyway, imagine we all live to 111. What values did you live by? Write down 5. I'm going to give everyone a minute. What values did you live by? Just put like a thumb up when you've done that. Awesome. If you didn't get 5, that's okay. You can go back afterwards. Okay, number 2, how did I make people feel? Write down 5 of how did I make people feel? I love Rosanna's thinking so hard. It's so good. How did it make people feel? You've got all the way to the end. And you're thinking back, how did I actually make people feel? Ten seconds, and then we'll go again. All right, number 3 is what interests and passions did I have? What did you love to do? What interests and passions did you have along the journey of this incredible thing called life? The dash, as they call it. If you want to write more than 5 passions and interests, you can.
What was the last one, Greg? Sorry.
What interests and passions did I have? Once you've done that one, just put your thumb up. Okay. So number 4 is how did people remember me? So when they thought of Amy Brown, how did they remember her? You know, how did people remember me? Okay, so number 4 was how did people remember me? And number 5 is how do I wish to show up every day? How do I wish to show up every day?
Can you ask that question again?
How do I wish to show up every day? So write that down. How do I wish to show up every day? All right, so I'll go through it again just quickly. So number one was, what values did I live by? Number two was, how did I make people feel? Number three, what interests and passions did I have? Number four is, how did people remember me? Number five is, how do I wish to show up every day? So this is huge. Because when you go right to the end, right? Let's face it, we're all going to have that moment, and it's reality. It's all good. And it's going to be a beautiful moment. It is what it is. You're going to be at that point looking back and really going over these processes. So if you can jot down exactly how you want your life to turn out based on the end working back, that is actually how you brand yourself. So branding is so important, because branding is how you turn up offline. So when you're meeting people out and about, you're at a coffee shop, you're at an event, you're at a networking event, you're at a friend's house. If you go by these values, if you go by these 5 steps, and you really are congruent with that, man, people are going to absolutely love who you are offline. And then you bring that online. If you bring that online, if you bring that same person online, then how people see you online, and when they meet you, whether it's a Zoom or whether it's face-to-face or at a coffee shop, they're going to realize that they have the exact same person online as they do offline. Does that make sense? You're now starting to become congruent. When you go through this and you really start to live by these values that you place on yourself, like, one big one for me is, how do I want to show up, right? You know, I want to be more positive. I want to be energized. I want to be a risk taker. You know, I want to be carefree with my kids. Like, I find that I'm a little bit too, don't do that, don't do this, look out, don't jump there, don't do, you know, I just feel like I'm a little bit too much that way. So, you know, that makes a big difference when it's at the front of your mind and they do something, and you're like, oh, it's all good, you know, because I want to be remembered that I was pretty carefree with them. Wasn't too hard on them. But you know what? This is a huge part of your life, if you're happy or if you're not. And what interests and passions did I have, right? If you're not incongruent with your passions and your interests right now, so if you've got like 5 or 10 passions and interests and you're not doing any of them, do you think that you would be happy or unhappy? Unhappy, right? But if you're like playing golf, surfing, traveling, doing public speaking events, doing leadership training, doing personal development seminars, coaching, doing retreats, dining at fine restaurants, wine tours, watching your kids play sport, which is what I want to do. If I'm doing that regularly, then I'm going to be in a place of exactly where I want to be from my interests and passions. So I would love to hear from someone. If you would unmute, if you feel like you want to, I would love to hear what this little exercise has done for you. And if you'd want to share some of your, you know, real passions, your brand, who you are, who you actually want to turn up in this world like. Just remember, if you do share, it's going to help everyone.
Yeah, I'll share, Greg.
Okay, Rhiannon.
Do you want me to share? What do you want me to share exactly? All of it, or
Just a couple out of there, not all of it, just a couple would be great.
Okay, so, well, before, my values, this is something I just actually went through not long ago, and that's why things have shifted so massively for me, was because I realized where I had let my standards slip and my values of myself slip. And so my values before were putting other people first and forgetting myself a lot and waiting for opportunities to come to me. My motto for life has always been, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as though for the Lord and not men, and having integrity. But it doesn't always match up when you're not following your values. So that's how I was. And I know that I was leaving people feeling drained. I was being negative a lot where I didn't think I was, just because the people around me were a lot less negative than I was, but I was not very positive myself. So now how I want to be remembered and how I want to show up is with integrity. I want to be a trailblazer, a risk taker, dedicated, passionate, and joyful. Be remembered for the energy and the light that I bring into a room. I want to be able to, and that's what I'm noticing with people also who are noticing me as I shift through my transformation, and to be completely authentic. Because when we're authentic, people feel it, and, that's what people sort of follow. So to be a leader, you've got to step into that, and stepping into it, Holly. And a part of it, I think, is owning, every single part of your life and what you've done with your life and who you are to get to who you are becoming. So that's what it did for me.
Thank you so much. And you know what, Rhiannon, I wanted to just give you a shout out because I've seen how much you've grown through this process as well. Like, you've grown huge amounts. So kudos to you. I know that you're showing up every week and you're really working this. So thank you so much for sharing. It was great.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, does anyone else want to share what that's actually done for them? Because can you see when Rhiannon was talking, and you could tell that, those values of how she wants to turn up in the world, or how she wants to be remembered, if you can walk in that, man, you're going to attract people to you like that. If you're in a place where you're trying to get an enrollment, and you're trying to get something, you're trying to get someone, you're trying to get a transaction, it's not going to work. But if you're just turning up authentically you and happy, people will be attracted to exactly that energy. Who else would love to share? Rach, love your work. Go, babe.
Hey, Greg, I just thought I would share that the same as Rhiannon, I found it was really interesting to look back.
Yeah.
And my mother passed away years ago, but geez, when I looked at this, I got a lot of this from her.
Yeah.
And it used to be that I was the sort of person, like with Rhiannon, put people first. I've written down here, try not to upset people, be a good person, try to help people, be a good friend, all these things that now, through my personal growth over the years, I mean, they're really in the background. I mean, now I want to be present, dynamic, flexible, positive, even, it can be a bit out there. Those things you can still be if you're present and sincere and caring and positive. You don't have to stay in that little, try not to upset people, be a good person or something like that. So that was really interesting.
I love that.
Looking back at that and being really, really writing them down and saying, yeah, that's what I want to be remembered as, being someone that's in their integrity, that's energetic and positive and kind of gives to the world. It's really great exercise.
Yeah.
And I was looking back on some of the things that I would have been remembered for. They're a lot different from now.
Well, the thing, you know what, Rach? I love that you shared that. I love that you shared that, because when you're like, be a good person, be a good friend, don't try and upset other people, all of a sudden you are not going to reach out to people and share Isagenics, because you're like, I don't want to upset them. So I want to be a good friend and not upset them. So I won't send them a message just in case it upsets them. But if you're being present and dynamic and in congruency with you, and, you're on fire, then you're going to reach out to people and impact thousands of people's lives by being you. And you're going to attract exactly you. And this is what I see. Like, I don't know if you've ever followed Laura Stevens in America, but literally the other day she had this boat, and she had all these girls, and they almost looked like, there was about 50 of them. They almost looked exactly the same, all of them. Blonde hair, beautiful on this boat. It's like if you turn up in the world exactly like you'll attract exactly like you. One thing that is interesting is the people that we brought, or I brought into this business at the start, are completely different people to who we're bringing in now, because we have completely changed. So now those people that are coming into our business have completely changed. So it's like when I first enrolled someone, I enrolled this dude who had an orange beard, tats on a Harley from WA. Like, that was my first enrollment. Well, I'm not saying that I have tats and orange beard and Harley, but what I'm saying is it's like that was the first person that was attracted to what I was doing. So as you develop and grow and become a bigger person and develop yourself mentally and physically and get to events, and you're going to attract exactly that person. So who you are turning up like is who you will attract in your business. So if you want someone who's heartfelt, who's dynamic, who's beautiful and caring internally and all of that, you're going to attract all of that to your business rate. So I love that. Love it. Anyone else want to share? Bronnie,
Thanks,
you
man.
want to share, are you? Or no? I'll go, Rach. Did you want to share?
No, I was just saying it's great exercise. Thank you. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're doing so well, Rach. I'm
Thanks,
loving
honey.
what you're doing. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
And let's catch up this week. Anyone else want to share? I'd love to hear from you guys.
I'll share, Greg. Oh, you go, Joe.
We might get Joe. Go, Joe, and then we'll get Beck. Go, Joe. Love to hear from you, Joe.
Thanks, Greg and Beck. I guess what I saw was that in some of the categories I had much more sort of joyful, happy, lightness. I guess more positivity in what I'm looking back at that I want to be than if I was writing my values as I am now. And I think that's what I think about when I'm, I guess, around Isagenics and going to the events. It's that energy and that lightness and the positivity that is part of what Isagenics is.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy when you start doing this exercise. It's like when you start writing down exactly who you want to be from the end looking back, I guarantee you every single person who just did that exercise is not incongruent with exactly who they want to be right now. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe there is, but like there are some incredible things there for you to dive into and have at least 5 areas that how you want to turn up in this world. And if you can turn up like that, man, you're going to be happy. Like, income or no income, whatever, you are going to be seriously happy if you are incongruent with that, with what you value when you're at the end, looking back. And you're going to attract amazing people into your world. So if you're not turning up positively, Joe, right? I'm just example. If you're not positive and you're walking into the world negative and down and just no energy, that is who you're going to attract in your business. So when you get someone like that in your business, all of a sudden you're like, all right, so come on, let's go. Who have we got? And they're like, no, I don't know anyone. So the reality is, if you're turning up that way and then you enroll those people, very difficult to build a business with people that maybe aren't turning up very positively in the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you turn up exactly who you want to bring in. You be exactly who you want in your business and you'll have it. Love it, Joe.
Thanks.
We're all becoming more conscious. Great, isn't it? How good is it? Beck, go Beck.
Yeah, I feel like the past year, like when I remember now thinking about it, like when Rach asked me to do my first Facebook post, I used to be really sensitive and like I really feared judgment and like was really just trying to fit in, like, everyone my age, they just gone to uni and, doing all the normal things. And I feel like I was just trying to fit into that because that was like normal, and I was just, really just trying to help people too much, like just really caring about how people are, but not as much myself. But now, like, my values have changed so much, and You know, it's all about me. Well, not all about me, but I've made it more about me now, like my health and fitness. You know, I'll go to the gym in the morning or whatever, and do all that, and then I'll do things for people. And yeah, like I'm just being me, I guess. And the past few weeks, like I think I told you this, Greg. I went to the naturopath and a few other places, and I was talking to people about isogenics, and I didn't even know them. Like I was just sharing, like my naturopath was just talking to me, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I just say that, "Oh, I do isogenics. It's amazing." And she's like, "Oh, I don't agree with that," and being all negative. I'm like, "Well, that's cool, but it's, you know, it's awesome for me." I'm going off on a rant now, but yeah, I feel like I'm just authentic now, and yeah, I help myself more, but I'm helping others more, and I'm like more positive on people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you come from a place of positivity for yourself and filling your cup up and your cup's overflowing, you can give. But when your cup's empty and you're only caring about other people and what they're going to think, your cup's going to get drained. So in order for you to be able to really impact people's lives, you've got to have an overflowing cup. So if you're in alignment with what you want and how you want to turn up in the world and what lights you up, your passions and interests, then it's going to ooze out into the world. And then people are going to be attracted to who you are. They don't buy isogenics, they buy Beck Goats. So if you're positive, if you're uplifting, if you're supporting people, if you're helping people, if you're fit and loving the gym and you're filling your cup up, then people are going to be like, I want to be around you. But if you're negative and you're like, you know, oh, I'm sorry I said that, and I'm sorry I did this, and I'm just sorry I hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry, it's like people aren't attracted to that. They want to know someone's got certainty. They want to know that you know where you're going, and you're going with them or without them. And when you have that energy around you, like I'm going there to the top, with or without you. You jump on this train because it's on fire and it's going really quick. Like it's up to you if you want to hop on the train or not. And then I'm gonna be like, shit, I want to hop on that train that she's on. But if you're like, yeah, the train's not moving, I'd love you to jump on and help me move it. Like, no chance. They're not going to jump on. You just you be you, and they'll be a part of it.
It's funny, like now I feel like things are shifting a bit, like with my why and stuff. Like the past few weeks as well, I've had people from the gym that follow me on Instagram. I don't even know these people and they're following me. I don't know how they know me, but yeah, I was talking to one girl at the gym and she's like, oh, I follow you on Instagram and I'm really interested in how you make money.
There we go.
It's like, because I'm, you know, doing stories.
Once again,
getting out of my comfort zone.
This is a flight time of 4 hours, 25 minutes.
All right, I'm going to unmute.
Sorry,
mute now.
Hey, Rach, have we got Janice's call on next?
Yeah, hey everybody. Janice is just jumping on right now. You can go left. She's like, I can't see because I'm in a car on the way to the airport, but I'm pretty sure I just rang Janice. She's jumping on, and Fawn will just swap the hosting of the call over. But I heard most of that call, guys, and I'm so excited. So excited to hear all of your whys, and I'm still around for the next 2 weeks, but my hours are a bit different. But if you need me, message me, okay? And look after each other. All right.
Thanks, Rach.
All right. Can you introduce Janice, please?
Yeah, of course. All right. So, all right, guys. So what I want you to do is go through that exercise and make sure you've jotted down 5 areas. Maybe share that with someone, maybe an accountability partner this week, because when you can hold yourself accountable, and maybe your best friend or someone that you really care about, and really get them to check in on you and say, hey, am I turning up this way in the world? You know, maybe get some feedback, but put it somewhere where you can see it every single day, because I guarantee when you look at this and you walk in exactly how you want to turn up in the world, your business will move. And hopefully, Nicole, that makes sense to you as well for where you're heading as well. So, all right, we have the extraordinary Janice. So Janice, those of you that have never been on one of these calls, They are absolutely epic. Janice is literally, we're all from